Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, we're going to go and have a little voyage over to Anachronia to see the firemaking methods which are available. Now these firemaking methods are the sharp shell shards and also the dinosaur propellant. And it's something which we've done a couple of times on the channel as well. But a couple of months ago, there was an update to these methods which kind of ruined them for a little while. They really went down in price, and that was when you were able to get extra propellant and extra shards for your firemaking efforts. And because of that, the prices really crashed, whereas now they seem to have steadily increased back to where they used to be, quoting for the two methods between sort of 16 to 19 mil each. Which for the kind of levels you're going to need to do for it is pretty crazy, to be fair. So to do the sharp shell shard, you're going to need level 87 firemaking, which is this one, which is probably weirdly the one which makes the most profit. And the dinosaur propellant, which is going to need level 95 firemaking, is going to be making 16 mil per hour. Both of these are going to need the extinction quest, which is a pretty big storyline quest, but definitely something worthwhile doing for your account progression anyway. Now basically the emphasis of this first method is where we're going to get sharp shell shards, is we're going to collect these eggs, and what we want is the good eggs, not the bad eggs. And then what we basically do with these good eggs is throw them into a furnace and basically burn them till they turn into the shards. Now, another bonus you have with collecting this for the sharp shell shards is you can actually get some of the Anachronia player-owned farm dinosaur pets, and these can actually add some decent GP depending on which ones you get. Some are better than the others, but this is what we're after. We're after the sharp shell shards. Now, both the propellant and the shards are used for making dino arrows. So depending on dino arrows prices, this is what can heavily affect the demand for these and also the price for these. Nowadays, dino arrows are a much cheaper price, but they're a much more stable price than what they used to be. Before, probably a couple of months ago, these two methods used to easily be in the 25 mil range, just because dino arrows were so in demand and so expensive as well. But it seems that the sharp shell shards especially have come to a decent price. They're 906 GP each, which is pretty good. And not only that as well, if you're an Iron Man or if you're looking to do a form of construction, these can actually be pretty decent as a sort of firemaking method. It's AFK firemaking. And for the price, for 900 GP each, it's pretty solid for an AFK firemaking method. That's the price you're going to pay for magic logs. And magic logs don't give you an option like this where you can see a bar. They are AFK, but I would say these are a more AFK option as well. Anyway, back to what we're doing. So the point is you collect all of the eggs from the pile of dinosaur eggs, and you will get these bad ones. Now what I tend to do myself, fill the invo and then sort of drag and drop all of the bad eggs. The bad eggs can't be converted into shards. There was sort of an idea that they could be, but they can't. We'll go and prove it when we go and do them anyway in a second. As you can see, quite a few bad eggs there, but if you just take the egg and drag it, it gives you this option. One click, or you get rid of them all, and then you can go back to collecting. Now, at some point, hopefully we can pick out a dinosaur, because a dinosaur, especially for the Anachronia farming, can be a decent 500k depending on the one you get. They are a little hard to sell, I will say that, but it can be a huge way to make some profits anyway. And in terms of XP as well, especially for, well, we'll go through the methods. Sharp shell shards are just under 300k XP per hour, and the propellant, which we're going to go and see a little bit later on, is actually 660k per hour. So these are no means bad XP methods, but they're also hugely profitable methods as well. Right, so that seems like enough in the info. We'll go and drop them in and explode these poor little shards. And through throwing them in the incubator as well, look at these little dinos which come out. Ain't they cute? And these are what the pets are based off from Oceus. Oceus pets are actually based off that. That's where you can get gel cell key. But as you see, the bad eggs are ignored and aren't going into the furnace. But it's definitely something, if you're looking to do it, can be AFK as well. And obviously with the Group Iron Man update coming at some point, that's what we're all about on the channel in a minute. We're trying to find AFK easy methods for you to do to earn a little bit of GP while you want to play Group Iron Man on the side, if you wanted to do that as well. But if not, this is a solid way to train your firemaking and make quite a bit of sort of GP on the side. But also, if you're looking for a method which is really AFK to train your firemaking, sharp shell shards aren't bad. Decent price now as well, whereas before they were a little spenny. No one really uses elders for firemaking, so you are really comparing it against protein logs or magic logs. And it used to be a price where it was considerably more expensive than magic logs, so it wasn't really worth doing. Whereas now, because they've come down in price, definitely worth looking at as well. This is going to be our last info before we go over to propellant as well, because that'll take a little while of running around to go and find it. Right, so from 3 rounds of doing those sharp shell shards, we are 900k, which, yeah, is really, really good. I'll keep those in my info because I'm sure I'll use them for some point. Now, a lot of people do this, the Scruffy Zygomites, and basically AFK it for fletching. It's really AFK, but I wouldn't say it's worth it in terms of GP. You're probably looking like 2 mil. The other stuff is a lot better. So we need to go to Bill's experimentation farm. Can't believe we got that first time. And look at those. All those little dinos. So basically the thing we do here is we go to the storm barn and we collect these dinos. And what we need to be doing with these dinos is basically feed them until they explode. So there are 4 different mushy troughs stationed all across here. And what you need to do is basically like run back and forth, feed them, and then once they've ate 3 times, they then explode. There's the first phase. They are all starting to feed. And again, if you ever wanted them, aquatic Jadinkos are here. Although Jadinkos, it's only really worth doing it Ignis or Draconic. And they might have changed this. So what they used to do, they used to be very picky. So when you did the invo, only a couple ate at each spot. Whereas it seems like they've updated it so they eat at every spot. Which if they've done this is such a better quality of life. Because at some point, you're running around with like half your invo full when you could have been doing a full invo at one time. Which, yeah, that's such a nice update. Because it was really annoying because you get some which would eat like at every start and some which wouldn't. And it was really hard to like get a full invo. At least this way as well, you can turn them all into propellants all at one time. And then the final one is up here. This has made like showing this part of a video so much quicker because it used to take like a good like 2-3 minutes of the video just to get a full invo of these turned into propellant. So once you feed them at the final stop, so this is stop number 4, they then turn into Potterington's Blend 102 fertilizer. So as you see, all the little dinos are going off. So then what you do here is you ignite this to create dinosaur propellant. Now this is what's going to give you the really good firemaking XP. Basically doing this is like 1 kit at a time. And this is where they updated it. They turned it so you got a lot more propellant for each of the fertilizer, which is kind of what affected the prices because you're getting so much more propellant for your time. But now the price is settled, which they were always going to settle once stuff had like sort of leveled out in that. But here we go. And as you can see there, the firemaking XP really is racking up. And in terms of propellant, that's really racking up as well. So propellant is 911 GP each. So as you can see, this info currently is 570k. And you've seen how long it's taken me to do. It honestly, the update where they made it like you just need to go to 4 and they all eat the same is so nice. It's made this way better. So there you go, 819 done. You saw how long that took, and I have made 746k from that. Now, considering like these were roughly the same sort of GP each, I would say that the propellant is a lot quicker to do than the sharp shell shards. Obviously, sharp shell shards are 8 levels less, so they need to be a bit more tedious. But this was a lot easier than what I thought it was. And if you're looking to get something like 125 making, you want something a bit different. You don't really want to be sat there throwing logs. Obviously, logs on the bonfire always has its place. But if you want something a little bit different, definitely check this method out because you'll make some profit from firemaking. Even if you do something like 95 to 99. Extinction is a big quest, but I think for all accounts, to probably get to the end game, it needs to be done anyway. So, yeah. And then basically what you do is you go and pick some more up from the barn and just run between the same 4 troughs and then they explode. Turn it into propellant and then you're pretty much done from that as well. But 17 mil per hour is what it says this makes. But looking at how quick we've just done that in vote, you might be able to do a little bit more. So, definitely something worth doing. But this method is what I would say is back. It really got hampered from the update, but it seems to have settled down now. The price is back, and it's definitely a very good way to make some GP on accounts. Probably a good way to run an alt as well, and definitely something you can do to make a bond. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Suggestions for any videos, drop them in the comments. I'll always try and reply if I can. Thank you guys for watching once again. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.